Hey, what's up everybody? Michael Crump back here again, and today I wanted to take a look at some news that was pretty significant over here by ArkSama on Bluesky, because basically what they have is the equivalent of PKG files that we are so used to over on the PlayStation 4 for the PlayStation 5. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the message here. So what they stated was that the first native PHU A53 Kraken plus APR game has finally launched. It's Evergate, which is their test game. And I did find this game over here on the PlayStation Store, but also they sell this game physically, and that there's still a lot of work to do, but the proof of concept has been verified. Now, they did state in this post here, and of course this is native, no emulator or anything like this, and what they're referring to is there would be no need for these APR emulators that we've been using, and it states here that the game loads automatically using the A53 chip. Now, I'm sure you're probably wondering what all of this means, and I will say that I saw over on Reddit that there is a little bit more explanation that was shared. So what they state here is that what does this mean? This is effectively the equivalent of a PKG file. And so instead of relying on formats like open folders, exFAT images, or these compression, it uses the PS5's own A53 processor to load and run the files. That means it avoids the performance penalties associated with the formats while also taking up less space than a typical open folder install. And so this is where we have been trying to get around these open folder installs with all of these different exFAT images and so forth. And so this will be really nice to be able just to use the A53 processor in order to load and run the files. So what they state down in here is that at the moment this is only a proof of concept, so there isn't any tools available to convert games to this format yet, but hopefully we will be able to do that in the future. And they state that as of now these are in the .phu format, which is not supported with any of the current payloads. So we'll have to wait for payloads to support it. Now, why is this a big deal? So native loading using the PS5 hardware is going to be much faster than the current methods. No fiddling with the APR EMU or emulator, no open folders, none of these exFAT, FFPKGs, etc. And that with using this format, we would be able to use internal SSDs, as well as it works with the Unity title. So Evergate is actually a Unity title, which we've had lots of problems with in the past. The TLDR is that this is essentially PKG-like game loading, and if it ends up being released publicly and is supported by developers, it could be a huge step forward. Now, reading through this thread, I saw this other question here, which was already answered, and that was, will we be able to play APR games in internal storage rather than the external one? And that has been replied back to as yes there. And then we can also see that they stated that Kraken is a self-contained format that replaces the APR emulator functions. The whole reason we use APR emulator right now is because we haven't had a faster alternative. Kraken is that alternative. APR refers to asset processing and rendering, which is how a game handles loading, processing, and rendering its assets. When a game throws an APR or asset processing error, it usually means there's a problem with communication between the game's engine and the PS5's high-speed internal SSD. And as a result, some of them may fail to load properly or not be processed the way that the game expects. So the APR menu exists to work around that limitation, but if Kraken can handle those functions directly, it could remove the need for APR emulation altogether. So pretty much this will replace our existing dumps with the PHU format that Kraken produces. So anyways, I will leave a link to this thread if you want to take a look at this. I thought I would just share this because this is very popular currently in the scene, and I will obviously be taking a look at it as the days and the weeks go by. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Michael